Good evening, class. Today we're going to work on watch a video on Chapter 3, Lesson 1, Day 1. We're going to divide this lesson into, I believe it's 2 or 3 days. It's a long lesson. Our objective is being able to divide a whole number by a fraction. First thing we have to know and understand is when we're dividing fractions is what a reciprocal is. The reciprocal of a fraction is found by flipping it, so the numerator and the denominator are swapped. So what we do is we take the numerator. If we have 8, it becomes 1 over 8. 3 over 4 becomes 4 over 3. What I was saying is the numerator becomes the denominator, and the denominator becomes the numerator. So that would be reciprocal. Steps for changing a fraction to a reciprocal. Step 1, write down the fraction. Step 2, flip the numerator and the denominator. Pretty simple. Changing a whole number, write down the number, write it over 1, 3 over 1. The reason we put over 1 is if we divide 3 by 1, it doesn't change the value. So 3 over 1 then becomes 1 over 3. Practice. Fraction, whole number, reciprocal. The reciprocal of 3/4 would be 4 over 3. The reciprocal of 6 over 7 would be 7 over 6. The reciprocal of 3/9 would be 9 over 3. The reciprocal of 5/3 would be 3 over 5. Pretty easy, not hard. Dividing a whole number into a fraction. So we write the problem down. We got 4 divided by 4/5. Make sure, step 2, make sure both numbers are fraction. You can change any whole number to a fraction by placing it over 1. So 4 over 1 divided by 4/5. Step 3, change the division problem to a multiplication problem by changing the second fraction to its reciprocal. So here's where the change occurs. You can see it's a division problem. What we do is we change it to a multiplication problem, and we flip the second fraction. So it's going to be 4 over 1 times 5 over 4. Multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators. 4 times 5 is 20, 1 times 4 is 4. Reduce the answer to simplest form. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So the answer to that problem would be 5. Once again, the key is we change this from a division problem to a multiplication by multiplying the second fraction by using the reciprocal. Let's practice. So 3, first of all, becomes 3 over 1 divided by 1/5. So now I have 2 fractions. Second step is to change it to a multiplication problem. We do not change the first fraction. We do, however, change the second fraction, and that's the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 1/5 is 5 over 1. Multiply the top. 3 times 5 is 15. 1 times 1 is 1. 15 divided by 1. We can't leave it like this. This would be considered improper. So our answer would be 15, because 15 divided by 1 is 15. Let's do one more. So we got, first of all, let's make them fractions. So we have 2 fractions. That's the key. Less confusing if you have 2 fractions. Notice I'm not changing it to a multiplication problem yet. I want to have 2 fractions first. So I've got that done. So 7 over 1. We change it to multiplication, and we multiply by the reciprocal. So 1/4 becomes 4 over 1. Multiply the top. 7 times 4 is 28. 1 times 1 is 1. 28 divided by 1 is 28. The key here, class, is what you have to understand is this is an improper fraction. You cannot leave the answer to a math problem improper. You have to reduce it to simplest form. I'm not going to practice a whole bunch more of these problems. We will show you how to do them in class. So for tomorrow, Be ready to work. We're going to work on page 76, 77. You can see the problems there: 1 to 2, 5 to 6, 9 to 12, and 27 to 28. You guys have a good night, and we will see you tomorrow.